my name is Ginny, and today I'll be talking about the Economist article titled Motorists Using Touchscreens in Cars Are Being Distracted. So some background information about this article is that the article sheds light on how dangerous using touchscreens while driving can be. In the article, the author talks about an experiment where researchers compare motorist reaction times in 3 different scenarios. The first scenario is where motorists are given tasks to be completed using touchscreens. The second scenario is where they are given tasks to be completed using voice commands. And the third scenario where they don't use any technology at all and are just using the basic controls of the car. Researchers compare and contrast the pros and cons of using touchscreens in cars. The goal of this is inform and persuade readers that voice recognition is much safer than using touchscreens while driving. The thesis of this is that the article is effective in informing and persuading readers due to the author's proper word use, lack of bias, and counter-arguments to further support his claim. So the first criteria is word use. In this article, the author uses terms and jargons that is understandable to the general audience. The audience would consist of other business people, college students, and generally people that drive cars or know what a car is. So he uses terms such as motorist, touchscreens, and navigate. And these are all terms that we all understand. There are occasional jargon and terms such as infotainment, hands-free, Android Auto, Spotify, and CarPlay. However, he puts them in sentences where we can use context clues, and it is really easy to figure out what these terms mean. So the second criteria is bias. The author doesn't seem to be biased in the article. He uses proper facts and statistics to explain and argue why touchscreens are more dangerous. In the experiment, the motorists were given a red bar in which while they do their tasks, the red bar would flash, and the researchers would test how long the reaction times are. If it was found that the motorists that were using touchscreens reacted a lot slower than the ones that were using voice commands and the ones that were using basic controls. The author used statistics and percentages to further argue and prove his point. For example, in this quote, he states, reaction times to the red bar when the touchscreen was being employed were more than 50% longer than standard for some tests. This was worse than the 46% impairment found in a previous stimulator study looking at the effects of using a handheld mobile phone while driving, which is banned in many countries. This shows that the percentage for people using touchscreens is higher than the percentage of people using mobile phones. So since mobile phones are banned, then this means using touchscreen is much worse and can lead to many more accidents. The third criteria is the counter arguments. The author has a lot of counter arguments, and he doesn't fail to state the pros of using touchscreens as well. He doesn't just argue against it. For example, in this quote, he states, car makers are developing screens that are easier to operate and positioning them more in line with the driver's view of the road. He is arguing for touchscreens, and he's stating that touchscreens may become better in ways that can make them more safer. And another quote, he states, one problem is that the spoken commands often have multiple intent. Asked to turn the temperature up and play Ed Sheeran, and the system can't cope, he adds. So in this quote, he is arguing against voice commands. Although voice commands may be safer, voice commands may not always complete the task that you ask them to. In some cases, using a touchscreen is much more simple and much more easier and gets the task done faster. And he also has a counter argument where he argues for cars with just regular controls. Cars with regular controls, he states, adjusting the heater fan can take twice as long when using a touchscreen rather than a physical button, and that selecting a new radio station takes 8 times longer. So he states different counter arguments, and he doesn't fail to show us why using voice commands is still better even with these counter arguments. So overall, the author was able to obtain his goal using facts and statistics that really supported his argument and made it stronger. He also included counter-arguments, which argued for all 3 sides, and it showed overall why voice recognition is still better compared to touchscreens and regular controls. The article was just basically written really well. Thank you for watching.